We are Ben and Michelle, and we have been traveling full-time now for 3 years. Our son Eli is 12 and our daughter Lacey is 10, and we have always homeschooled, so we have been homeschooling now for 7 years. We are so excited to talk to you about homeschooling. We want to give you some tips and tricks and tell you about how awesome it is, but we also want to help you out if you're struggling.
We are here for you, and we're excited about sharing the information we have, the news we have. So hang tight with us and get ready to learn some exciting things, and get ready to at least walk away with one little nugget that's really going to help your homeschool life. Let's do it. Now I want to touch on the legal ramifications of homeschooling for just a minute. In fact, when I was younger, my parents and our family was one of the first homeschool families in the state of Florida. And we were taken to court because it was illegal at the time. So kind of crazy history there. Yeah, I'll tell you more about that story another time. It would take a couple of hours. But anyway, I made it out. I'm okay. But listen, concerning the laws, some states are friendlier than others. And we're not going to get into that too deep, but there is a great resource, hslda.org. We'll leave that link below too. But they have all the information you need on the legality of homeschooling in specific states, so you can choose which state to go to or to register in.
We are registered with the state of Florida, so I will let you know how that works. First of all, the option would be you can register under your county, and with that you set in a letter of intent, and then you, at the end of the year, you can either do standardized testing or you can do a teacher evaluation, which is definitely the most popular way to do it. I actually have a really great resource with a teacher who is certified with the state of Florida, who can do evaluations for you via Zoom calls. So that is a good way to do it. However, with that, you have to keep your portfolio for 2 years. So you have to keep all your paperwork and your books and all the stuff for 2 years, just in case they decide at some point to come back and make sure that in the last 2 years you've been doing school. It's a hassle, and it's not really a good option just for us, because I don't want to keep all that extra paperwork and all the books. I don't have the room for it. I don't have the weight limit for it. So that option was just not going to work for us. So we decided to go with the next option, which is to school under an umbrella school, which basically is a private school in the state of Florida, and they will have different requirements for you. Some of them are pretty relaxed, where they don't really require much. Some of them are a little bit more, where you actually have to pay them a fee every year, and then you have to send in monthly reports, you have to send in grades for testing. The option that we chose was to register under a private or umbrella school, and some of them are pretty easy, where they don't really require much, but some of them are a little bit more, where you have to pay a fee for each year. You might have to send in paperwork or test results every month, so they kind of keep you in check, which might be really good for some parents.
Yeah.
But for us, I didn't want somebody else telling me what I needed to do. So we decided to go with Florida Unschoolers, which is a private school in the state of Florida, but all they do is just help out homeschoolers. So they require the same paperwork that all private schools do, and then once you are a part of their school, you don't have to send in anything. You don't have to keep any paperwork. You just have to tell them that you're attending school for so many days, but they keep all that for you. You don't have to even count it at all. They take care of it, and it's the best and easiest way that we found, and we know a lot of other people from Florida who travel or domicile in Florida use Florida Unschoolers because it is such an easy way to do it.
Yeah, and again, if you're the kind of parent that needs someone to push you and you need some sort of requirement in order to make this happen, then there are resources for that. And it might be worth it for you to get someone that has a more strict frame that you have to fit in. But for us, we are self-motivated. We knew exactly what we want to teach our kids, and we evaluate regularly, so we don't need someone else coming in to tell us whether or not that meets their standard. We've got our own standard, and we're very happy with it. So the unschooling thing was absolutely perfect. They just confirm, hey, you're doing school, your kids are learning, great, you're good to go. So that was a really great resource, and super happy with that one. Okay, I know there's a lot here, and we're getting close to the end, but we want to give you every resource possible to really make your homeschooling experience fun. So that's our next thing, is you need to make sure it is fun for you and the kids.
Yes, and we utilize a lot of YouTube videos. There are so many fun science experiments and fun history lessons that we can watch on YouTube, and it just is exciting. We like to do fun Fridays. Maybe we'll go on a field trip, or maybe we'll play a special game, or do something creative, like maybe it's backwards day or something fun like that.
You know, there's all kinds of software online, like math games and stuff, that just create more of an experience instead of just writing on paper. And then also decorating, like creating a themed day, surprising the kids with that, or planning it ahead of time, letting them pick out an outfit. The stuff like that can just really make learning fun. And again, at the end of the day, you want to tap into that sort of toddler exploration idea that they had back when you couldn't stop them from learning, when they constantly asked questions, when they constantly picked stuff up because they wanted to learn so much more. Creating that fun environment will reignite that in their mind, and you are going to love it. Hey, we want to take a second to go a little more in depth and tell you the curriculum we use and why.
Okay, so we have a 6th grader, and we have been doing this for a long time and have gone through so many language arts programs, and none of them worked for us until we found out about the Good and the Beautiful, and we love it. It covers spelling and writing and grammar, geography, and art appreciation. This year we're actually doing pastels, and it's so much fun. And all this is inclusive, and you don't have to spend extra time on each one. This program is faith-based, but it's not overly religious. It's more just about having good morals and good moral teachings. So this one goes all the way through high school. Definitely one to check out.
Okay, what about math? What curriculum do we use for math?
Okay, there are 2 different styles of learning math. Okay, so there's going to be the spiral math, which, let's say you're learning multiplication, single-digit multiplication. Then you're going to come around and you're going to do single-digit division, okay, and kind of build off of each other. Then you're going to come back and you're going to do double-digit multiplication, double-digit division, and you're going to keep coming around and build on top of each other. The other way is mastery, more like a linear learning style. So this one is just multiplication in the entire year. You're going to learn from the very basics all the way up. Then the next year, you're going to do just division, and you're going to learn all the way through that. So that's the style that we have chosen to teach our kids with, and we use Math UC for that. And it is a really great program, and the thing that I love about it most is that, one, the teacher teaches it for me. I don't have to know what I'm doing to teach this. I just watch the video with the kids and then help them out with their work. And also, it is the old school math. So it's learning how I learned as a kid, and so I can be a little bit more relatable to the kids and how they're learning their math.
No Common Core. That's the other way to not learn math. Common Core. Don't worry about that.
Some of the other resources that we use are Teachers Pay Teachers. If there is a subject you want to learn, Independence Day, you can go on there and search for that, and other teachers have already put together really cool packets that you can use for that subject to teach your kids. So that's a really great resource there. Another one is OutSchool, so maybe you want your kids to learn how to dance, or how to play guitar, or how to write papers based on Harry Potter. So there are a lot of different options out there in OutSchool. That's a really good one. We do typingclub.com, and that's how our kids have learned to type, and they really love it. It's a fun way to learn. Math Playground is just a bunch of math games, and it's a good online fun thing to add in. Adventure Academy is it's more like a game online, but there are a lot of videos that they can watch, different math games they can do, and they can earn things and do all sorts of fun activities. So those are some of the extra things that we like to supplement in with our curriculum, because we have those core things of math and language arts. For science, we actually just purchased this year some things with Good and the Beautiful, and they're really good. The history program.
And beautiful. They're good and beautiful.
We got the history program from Good and the Beautiful this year too, and we love it because it starts from the beginning of time with the creation perspective all the way through the present day, but then they just stop on particular times throughout history to really study in depth. Nice. And then each year they go from the beginning to the present, but stop on different times of the timeline. So those are the different curriculums that we are using right now, and we're really happy with them all.
All right, you have made it to the end of the video, but we have a couple of final thoughts we really want to pass along to you.
Well, first of all, you need to take time as the teacher to relax and get your mindset ready for the day. Make sure that you're making it fun for your kids, and if you realize that you are just pulling your hair out, this is not working, it's okay to change things up. It's okay to stop using the curriculum you're using and pick something new, even if it's halfway through the year.
Yeah, I mentioned to Michelle many times throughout the month, hey, you should start your day with a little cup of tea. Just sit on the couch, sip some tea, and relax before the kids get up, just to get your mindset in that mode of like, I love these kids. Because once the day starts, you might forget that. And it's easy to forget that when you're with your kids 24/7. But getting that right mindset at the beginning of the day makes a huge difference. And again, just reminding yourself that you're thankful for this opportunity to share what you know and to share, just the freedom and joy of learning with your kids. So take that time before you start, because once things get underway, it's hard to get yourself back in that mode. All right, another tip is don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to the standard you want. We talked earlier about the different ways of setting your standard, how much school to do each day, what you want to teach your kids. Let that be your driving force. Don't worry about what the people next to you are doing. You're always going to find people who spend way more time and way less time, and you're going to find kids that are super smart and kids that you're like, yes, at least I don't have that kid. So you're going to always find people above and below you, but don't let that be your standard for how you're doing, because you'll never be happy with that. Stick to your guns, do what you know is best, and then change if you need to as you go along. Okay, one other story from my drastically unique childhood.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so we were homeschooled, like I mentioned, and at one point my mom and dad brought in a Spanish tutor. I think this was somebody that my dad had done work for and met her, and she said, I teach Spanish for a living. Okay. And he said, oh, excellent, you can come teach my kids. So we actually really enjoyed her Spanish class. It was fun having someone else come into the house, but also she was great at teaching. Anyway, one day she came in the morning and we were there, and I remembered that I had to go feed my pigeons. Now, long story short on that is my dad had another customer. I'm seeing a trend here. He had another customer that had homing pigeons. And he set us up with a homing pigeon cage and everything. That's a whole other story. But it was my job to go and feed the pigeons every day. So I went out after Spanish class had started. I realized, oh, well, she had gotten there, it hadn't started. And I thought, oh, I need to go out real quick and feed the pigeons. Well, I go out there, and one of my birds had died. His name was Billy. Oh. And I was pretty young at the time. I want to say maybe like 10 or 11 or 18. And I came inside. I was just brokenhearted. I don't know if I had a bird die before that time, so it was my first one there. I came in, tears running down my face, and I walk into the class that had already started, and she says, oh, what is wrong? And everyone said, what happened, Ben? What happened? And I said, Billy's dead. And everybody freaked out. Turns out I have a brother whose name is Billy as well, and the bird's name was Billy. So they were freaking out, and then Billy was like, I'm not dead. I'm right here. So then they were like angry at me. Why would you tell us he's dead? He's literally right there. And I'm like, he's not dead. My bird is dead. So they did not have a lot of compassion for me.
Like that, huh?
That might explain a lot about my adulthood. But I did learn a little Spanish that day, so that was very helpful.
Okay. Do you remember it?
No, I don't.
No, okay, well.
Oh, no. Lo siento. That's what it was. Lo siento, which means I'm sorry. I do remember. I did learn that day. Lo siento.
Something that's been really helpful for us is becoming a part of a community. And being a part of a traveling community is so helpful. And Full-Time Families actually does a really good job at connecting other families. And there are Facebook groups of homeschooling, road schooling, where you can ask these questions of people who are in the same place as you, and you'll get a lot of really great advice that way.
You'll also connect with people who are ahead of you and people that are behind you, so you can help give the information that you have and ask questions of people that now have teenagers, and you're on your way to do that. So great resource in connecting with other people on social media, and ultimately meeting up with homeschool groups or travel groups as well. It makes a big difference for the kids too, to kind of be in that environment for a little bit of other homeschoolers. Hey, listen, the main thing to remember is your goal of homeschooling. The goal is to raise thrivers. It's not to cram all this stuff into the kids' heads. At the end of the day, if you just put out that little flame that they have, that desire to learn, life for them can be really difficult. But if you take time to really focus in on their learning style, find the right curriculum, connect with the right groups, be passionate about teaching them, passionate about showing them about life, you're going to raise some amazing kids that will easily surpass their peers as they grow older and continue to learn and continue to love learning. We are so excited that we had this opportunity to be together and to share our experience. We want to hear from you.
Yes, please reach out to us on social media because we want to hear about your questions, but really we want to hear about your successes. We want to know what you guys have done and what you found that works.
Right, and did you fail? You know, we want to know that too. It's really important.
Right, okay.
All right, collect your notes. Let's do some homeschooling and raise some thrivers. Yeah, thrivers. And let's do some homeschool together. And listen, just reach your...
Oh my God. So close.
You at warp speed.
Warp speed.
Okay, here we go. Right. And reach out to us there. Concerning focus that might come into play with your
Wow.
I can't focus simply because of you. Some thrivers together. Let's
rave. Let's rave at some thrivers.
What a shame. What a shame.